Bom dia a todos. Bem-vindo à sessão CPD ka Continuing Professional Development ne. Kona ba tópico Excel and Basic Statistics. Hausay halau sessão ne hausay usa English makbarak tanba recursos nebe hausay hatudu ba ito bot sira barak iha língua inglês de nune importante atu ita bele começa toman itania an ho aprende Excel lian Ingles. Okay, so I'm going to switch to English for most of this session. So I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. And let me bring my slides. Okay, so here we go. So before we start, as usual, I would like you to fill in the attendance form at this link. So find that link www.tinyurl.com/Maluk Timor CPD, one word. So it will bring you to this form and just fill in your employee ID. Mine is 2009. Yours will be different. Data Sasan CPD is today, 17th. So I just click today. And the password, what was the password just now? The password was 2147. 2147. So 2147. And that is all. Now you can click submit. So I will close this. Let me return to my slides. Okay, very good. So I would like you to imagine there are two different health facilities. Iha facilidade Saudi Rua. Let's say one is in Manotuto and one is in Ermera. These are just illustration pictures. These are not the real pictures. Irene Hanesan is included. Imagine. So itabele imaginatok, just imagine that in this health facility, these are all the patients that have come today. And in this health facility on the right, these are all the patients that have come today. So you can see that there are two lists of patients. This list on the left in blue and this list on the right that is in orange. Now, the question is, what is the difference between these two sets of data? Is it exactly the same or is it different? And if it is different, what is the difference? So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to think about what those differences might be. And if you can, write it down somewhere so that we can refer to it again. So the question is, what are the differences between these two sets of data? And I'm going to give you around 1 minute. About 10 more seconds. Okay, so you can see that these two sets of data have got three different columns. So it does not tell you everything about the patient. It does not tell you the aldea, the suku. It does not tell you the disease, the moras, the diagnosis of the patient. It does not tell you the treatment of the patient. It only gives you 3 columns of data about each patient. It tells you about the patient's name, naran paciente, the sexu, idadi. So you only have those 3 columns in this list. And then if you look at this list on the right, you've got only the same 3 columns. So what is the difference between these 2 sets of data? The most important thing that you need to begin being able to do is compare this first column, the naran paciente, against this first column, the naran paciente, and then the column about sexu, against the column about sexu, and then the column of idadi against the column on idadi. So you can see that here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 names, and here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names. Also, the names are different. There are many different ways we can say that it is different, but one way that the data is different is that here, the naran paciente, there's only 4. Here, the naran paciente, there's 6. And then for the sexu, you can see that here, there's 1 feto, mane on the left, and on the right, there's feto, mane, feto. And so this, it looks like on the left, there's around half of them are female, around 50% of them are female. And on the right over here, feto, there's 4 female and only 2 mane. So this is probably around 65% feto. And then if you look at the idadi, and here it's actually a little bit more difficult to see the difference, but you can see that on the left for these patients, idadi is 55, 76, 66, 80, 55, 76, 66, walunulu. Depois se hare sorin limanlos, idadi ruaka, sanluresin ruaka, ruanulu toluka, sanluresin idaka, hitnulu idaka, sanluresin nenka. Nune, the age, the idadi of the patients on the left, it is usually higher, more than the idadi of the patients on the list on the right. So now you can see that we have compared these 2 data sets by looking at the 3 columns and saying that the number of names here is less, the number of names here is more, the percentage of females here is less, the percentage of females here is more, and the age, the idadi, the average age here is more, the average age here is less. So that's how you can compare 2 data sets. Now, imagine again that you have not just 2 data sets, but 5 data sets. You have to compare 5 different clinics, or maybe 6 clinics, like all the clinics within one municipality, or 77 clinics, like all of the CHCs, all of the SSK in all of Timor. So you can see that if you need to compare many different data sets or sets of data like this, it can be very difficult for you to look at each column and then compare. And then if you have to compare more than 2, it becomes very difficult for you to do that. So what can you do? How can you compare so many pieces of data, so many sets of data more easily? So there is no other way. Ita precisa halo data summary, selai rezumu dadus. Antes ita bele halo comparison entre dataset ida ko dataset ida seluk. So there's no other way. You must do a data summary in order to compare the data sets. And sometimes it can be comparing 2 different data sets from 2 different places, or sometimes it may be comparing data sets in the same place at different times. For example, from 1 year to another year, or from 1 day to a different day. So dalaruma ita precisa halo data summary hodi compara dataset hustri fatin rua nebela hanesan. Selae ita dalaruma tenki halo data summary hudi compara data husifaten nebe hanesan date maybe momento seluk. Por exemplo, ita hare dadus Kona ba paciente iha Centro Saudi ira tinanne no compara ho tinan kotuk atubele hare irene iha mudansa ka melorado ka atliu ka itania intervenção iha SSK ne lori benefício ka lai no hodi razan barak precisa halo data summary ka rezumu dadus hodi bele compara data sets. So oinsa halo data summary quasi hanesan ita halo oken. So how say annotate hanebe how say annotate uitone hane nune atu halo data summary hodi bele compara dataset rua. To do a data summary in order to compare two data sets, what you need to do is first you need to see what the columns are, what exactly is the data that is given. So in this case, only 3 columns, naran, sexu, idadi, and same on the right, I see naran, sexu, idadi. And for each column, I need to find some way to summarize that data. So in that first column, I'm just going to summarize. How am I going to summarize? Summarize by the number, or even better, let me call it the count of the number of patients. And the count of the number of patients here is 4. And for these patients on the right, the count of the number of patients is 6. Now I can say that is the difference for the number of patients or the naran paciente in both of these data sets. And secondly, for the sexu, I need some way of summarizing the sexu over here. So I can summarize it in different ways, but the way that I'm going to summarize it is I'm going to just find out what is the percentage feto. Okay, so what is the percentage of females? And so to find the percentage of females, what I need to do is this is equal to the number of females. How many females? Ihan numero hira feto ihani ida rua date. Faheba total number of patients. So total number of patients 1, 2, 3, 4 ida rua tolu hat. No numero paciente idan ihane hanesan date numero paciente ihane nune hanesan date count. Nune how bele calcula percentage and feto liu husi formula equals to satu dua faheba empat. No idane how say fraction idane how say convert ba percentage. No atau convert ba percentage kali 100 kan? Okay. So idane sumario mak 50%. Depois ihane hira. So and over here, how do I summarize this column? So same way, I'm going to use percentage and feto. And in this case, it is 1. I'm going to first count 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 females divided by the total count divided by 6, which is equal to, it is around 66%, right? And then what about the idadi? How do I compare this idadi with this idadi? So over here, I'm going to compare by looking at what is the idadi average. Okay. And this one, it's a little bit difficult for me to calculate right now because in order to calculate this, all of you know that the average is equal to numero idane sura hamutuku, numero idane sura hamutuku, numero idane sura hamutuku, numero idane. Depois faheba count, faheba iha numero hira. Nune, the formula over here should be 55 tambah 76 tambah 66 tambah 80, and this whole number Tau hamutuk faheba 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Faheba 4. Kan? So to do it one more time, the average age is equal to the total of this plus this plus this plus this divided by this. So what is the actual number? So I'm not sure, but I'm just going to estimate. It looks like it is around, maybe it's around 65, maybe. So this is just an estimate, right? And then over here, what is the average, idadi average in here? So it is the idadi average. Say over here a little bit. And this one, you can see that they are much younger. Paciente ne joven itu anune say how surah hamutuk 2 plus 12 plus 23 plus 11 plus 71 plus 16. And all this together divided by what is the total number of numbers over here? Is total number is 6, so divide by 6. And so if I do this, I'm not sure exactly what is the number I'm going to get, but it looks to me like it'll probably be around it looks like the average is probably around 15 or 16. Okay. Now, if I've done a data summary like this already, it is easier for me to compare the two data sets because now I can say this one and this one, what is the difference? The number of patients is 4, but this one is 6. The percentage in feto, this one is 50%, but here there's more feto. So this is 66%. And the average age here is 65, but the average age here is only 15. So these patients are older than these patients. So you can see that in order to compare two data sets, you need to summarize the data in that data set. Let me clear all of this. Now, if you have many data sets, like in this case, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data sets. Again, you need to do the same thing in order to compare the data sets. So over here, it looks like, I'm going to just start typing here. It looks like the count, maybe it is 3. And over here, the count is 6. And over here, the count is 4. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, the count is 6. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, same. So here, the count is 6. Okay, so now you can see that it is much easier for me to compare the patient list with each of these sets. So agora how say fo naran date how say la usa naran município kasuko how say usa naran hanesan irne grupo paciente iha facilidade saudi metan verde azul no hodi halo comparison entre ida seluk how bele dehan date say how karak compara lista naran paciente how bele dehan lista metan ne iha count tolu maybe naran lista verde ne iha count enam nune verde iha barakliu metan depois azul iha 4 date hard date nune barakliu mak verde naton mak azul menos liu mak metan nune atu compara ida seluk faciliu seita halo data summary lai. No idane aplica ba naran paciente nomos ba dadus seluk. Por exemplo, ihane habele haragetiona kona ba column dadus kona ba sexu percentage feto iha dataset paciente iha facilidade saudi metane 100%. Tanba sira hotu feto date nune no ihane iha facilidade saudi verde Irene Hanisan, okay, let's see. Ida Rua date mak feto, depois 1, 2, 3, 4 mak mane. Nune ihane percentagen feto mak 2/6. Irene Hanisan 33%. Depois iha verde ihane, so desculpa, iha paciente husi facilidade saúde azul ihane. Balu feto, balu mane, nune percentagen feto ihane 50%. Okay, nune ita bele hare agora fácil. Ita bele halo comparison ihane lalais. Tanba ita bele hare percentagen feto nebe menos liu 33% iha facilidade saúde azul ni. Desculpa, facilidade saúde verde ni. Percentagen feito nebe naton makiha facilidade saúde azul tanba 50%. Depois asliu percentagen feito iha facilidade saúde metane. So you can see that you can compare immediately about the column about sexu between each of these data sets by looking at the data summary. You can see that the lowest is 33% in verde. It is medium in 50% in azul, and it is highest 100% in methan. So this is how you can make those data summaries quickly. Now, if you want to do the same thing for idadi, now this is going to take us a very long time. If I'm going to use a calculator to manually add and find the average of idadi here, idadi here, idadi here, idadi here. So it'll be easier if I'm going to use a spreadsheet. So I'm going to show you now how to do that. Okay. So let me again clear all of these drawings. So Winsa usa Excel hodi halo data summary ni hodi halo the count halo percentagen halo hanisan average ba column ida ni. So agora how say hatudu. So antes how hatudu ba itobot sera how karak itobot sera mus download Excel file nebe how say usa hanisan demonstration hori itabot itobot sera bele halo rasik no tuir how ato halo calculation. So before I do this myself, I would like you to download the data set, the data Excel file, so that you can also practice and follow along. So I'm now going to show you how you can do that. We're going to go to Google Drive. You're going to log in with your own account, and then you're going to download this particular file from this particular location. So let me show you how I'm going to do that now. So this you can see now on my screen is a new browser window. So over here, I'm going to go to drive.google.com. This is all in Portuguese, but basically I want to log in. I think it is this one. Nope, it is not this one. So it must be this one, access the drive, I guess. Right, okay, so I'm trying to access the drive, and I'm going to just change the language here to English so it's easier for me. English. Whew, okay, easier. So now sign in to Google Drive. So I'm going to sign in using my login ID, my Maluk Timor login ID, rajaraman@maluktimor.org, and my password. So you should log in using your own ID and password. Now, when you have logged into your drive, you should see on the left, Soren Liman Karuk, itabele hare priority, my drive, no shared drives. No dalaruma itania interface oinseluk uituan tanba conteúdo iha itania drive, differente husi conteúdo iha haunia drive. Maibe panel iha soren liman karuk ihani say hanesan date. Nune ita bele hili shared drives. So by hira ita click on shared drive. Iha fatin ne ita bele hare lista drives ka shared drives nebe ita iha. No dalruma iha ita nia drive o inseluk husi how nia drive tanba how nia shared drive iha folder baraka drive barak maybe ita nian dalaruma iha menu state maybe Maluk Timor staff hotu iha duni folder in a day folder nebe naran CPD how say hello boat oituan at ita bele hare diakliu folder idani folder CPD depois iha click folder ihani depois ita bele double click no bain hira ita double click ita tama tiona folder CPD idani depois ita bele hare craik ni this is an Excel file idane file Excel no idane mak naran Excel file ne say ita hover ita tau ita ni mouse ikane ma bela precisa click ita bele hare naran completo ba file idane so Excel 2022-06-17 Excel and basic statistics summarizing data this is the file that you want idane mak file ne belos nune I'm going to make small a little bit I'm going to zoom out so you can see a bit better. And then I'm going to click on this. I'm going to right click. And then I'm going to click on download. One more time, I'm going to cancel. So you can see again, I'm just going to click outside over here. So it cancels. So I'll do one more time. I have logged in. I click on, okay, let's say that I've logged in. It will look like this. From here, I will click on shared drives. I will click on CPD, double click. I will find the file that I want. I'm going to click, right click, download. And now you can see down here, it will be downloading the file. Oh, cannot download file. Try enabling third party. Okay. Let me try one more time. Right click, download. Ooh, okay. I know why I cannot download the file right now because I'm using private mode in my browser. So I'm going to show you one more time without using private mode in my browser. Don't worry, this problem should not occur for you unless you start it in private mode like this. So I'm going to close this. One more time, I'm going to open a new browser. This time I'm using my Maluk Timor browser. So drive.google.com. So this time I don't need to log in. Tanba how login tiona ohin. I'll click on shared drive. I'll click on CPD, double click. I'll click on Excel and basic statistics, right click, download. And this time, yeah, you can see it downloaded already. And so by here download Fiona, ita bele click hane date. Hodi loke file idani. Diak. No, dalaruma itania interface differente uituan husi haunian tanba haunian mak verzon Excel Excel 365 itanian staff Maluk Timor nian uza verzon Excel 2016 mak barak maybe labot ida buat nebe hause demonstra hutu quasi hanisan der Nune, okay, primero itahare haletene protected view. Be careful. Files from the internet can contain viruses. Maybe file idane seguro duni. Nune itabele click on enable editing. Depois itabele hare file idane. And for now, I'm going to briefly change the color of the interface. so that my Excel will look a little bit closer. It will look more like your Excel, but you don't need to do this. So I'm going to go to File, Count, Office Theme, Colorful. Okay, great. Okay, good. Now this should look closer to your screen, how your Excel normally opens, the colors. Okay, so you can see that in this Excel file that I have given to you, iha tab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So tab primeiro irane bolu metan, depois verde, azul, abu, ginga, and desafio primeiro, desafio segundo. But if I look at the first tab, itahareba tab metan, iha naran paciente tolude Francisco, Jamie, Beatriz. In verde, in tab verde down over here, you can see that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patients. Paciente nen. And in azul, iha paciente seluk, hanesa nedid. Nune agora, ita say hello data summary ba quasi column irani. Okay, using Excel. So remember that earlier we wanted to do for this column, naran paciente, we wanted to do as data summary by doing the count. In this column, the data summary by finding out what is the percentage in feto. And in this column, the data summary by finding out what is the idadi average. Okay, so how can we do this? So for this first column, I'm going to first do it manually, and then I'll show you how to do it using formula. So for this count, just like we did earlier, you just count ida rua tolu, nune irene tolu. Depois percentage feto ihane 1, 2, 3 bagi numero paciente hotune. And this whole number, sorry, I'll use the formula bar up here, times 100. Kali 100. And this will give you the percentage. And this is equal to 3 bagi 3 is 1. So 1 kali 100. And this one is equal to 100. Nune, bainhira halo calculation automático tem que retan resultado nebe hanesa. Depois quando ba idadi average hane, irene tem ato halo resultado nebe los tem que tal hamutuk 57 hamutuko 36 tal hamutuko 70 di ada 4. Depois número tumak ni bagi ba tolu tanpa iha lina tolu ni 1, 2, 3. No irane se hanesan okay how usa hanya calculador. Okay, atau halo calculation ini how se usa hanya keyboard. So 57 aumenta 36, aumenta 74, 167. So ini se 167 bagi tolu. No ini dalai retan ha usa honia calculador 167 bagi tolu. So 55.666. So ini 55.666. Okay, so iranemak hanisan resultado nebe los nebe hawakarak hitan liu husi usa formula. Okay, so oinsa so ihane how say usa formula no orsida how say demonstra maybe formula nebe how say functions nebe how say hanorin mak functions tolu irane counta depois countif, depois average. Okay, so I'm now going to switch back to English because some of the resources I will point you to later use English to teach these concepts. And so I want you to get used to learning about this in English. So these are the functions we're going to use in order to calculate this easily. So firstly, I'm going to begin a function. And remember, whenever you begin any function, you must use an equal sign. And then I'm going to put the name of the function, which is count. Now, when I begin typing the name of the function, I can already see a list over here that Excel is suggesting to me. Do I want this function or this function or this function? And you can see that the function called count, it has got several different types. There is count, count A, count blank, countif, and all of these different types. Now, today, I'm not going to teach you all these different types. You can find out more about these functions by yourself online. So for example, I'm going to go to my Chrome, and I'm going to just go to google.com, and I'm just going to type, what is countif function in Excel? And here there are many different answers, but here I can find, I'm just going to click on this first link. And here there's an explanation that tells me how to use it. It gives me some examples. And then I can even play a video that will show me how to use the countif function. This is only 1 minute.
Use the countif function to count the number of cells that meet criteria you specify.
Let me go back. And let's say that I don't like the explanation given in this particular video. I'm going to, let's say I'm just going to go back to Google, and I don't want to click this. I want to use one of the others. Or even better, I'm going to find this video on YouTube. So I'm going to click this one. It's a 4-minute video. And I can watch this if I want, or some other video. So anyway, I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go back to my demonstration. So I said earlier that I will type count, and then I'm going to open bracket. Sorry, I'm going to use count A, not the count function, count A function. I'm going to open bracket. And now I'm going to highlight halo block, dadus nebitenki halo count. So I'm going to highlight the data that I want to count. I'm going to close bracket, and then I'm going to press enter. And now you can see that the formula has automatically found the count is 3. Let me do this one more time, but I'll do it a little bit faster. So I'm going to equals to count A, highlight the data that I want, close bracket, enter. So there we go. Now in this second one, so that is how you can use Excel to do the data summary here. Now I'm going to use Excel to do the data summary of this one. So what I'm going to do here is I want to find the percentajan feto. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to count the number of feto divided by the number of patients. And then this whole number I want to convert to a percentage. And the way that I convert to a percentage is by kali 100, right? So I'm going to delete this. So let's do that one more time using the formula. So I'm going to count using a formula. I'm going to remember, using the formula, you must always start with equals to count. Now remember, I'm not going to use count A. I'm going to count if. I'm going to open bracket, highlight my data. I'm not going to close the bracket now because I need to tell Excel some more information. Now I want to count if something, right? So I want to count if that cell has got the value F, fetu. So I don't want to count everything. I just want to count fetu. And because it is a word, I'm going to put it inside. Sorry, I did it too fast. Because it is a word, you can look up here to see what I'm typing. I'm going to put it inside the quotes like this. So I'm going to put a quote, aspas. I'm going to put this F, close. Then I'm going to close the parentheses. Then I'm going to press enter. Now you can see that it is counting the total number of fetu over here. Let's say that I change this one, if I change to a mane. Now you can see the count here is only 2. So let me put this back to fetu, same like before. Now it is 3. So, but this is wrong, right? Because I don't want it to just count the number of fetu. I wanted to do the number of fetu divided by the total number of patients. So now I'm going to divide by, what is the total number of patients? It is the number over here. So I'm just going to click over here. I'm going to press enter. Now you can see that if it is now count number of fetu divided by count number of patients should be equals to 3 divided by 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1, and so that is correct. But now I wanted to convert to a percentage, and so to convert to a percentage, I'm going to go up here to the number format up here, and I'm going to click on percentage and percent style. And now it has made it 100% over here, the way that I wanted to. Good. So agora how say how to demonstration idane dala edatan maybe lalai so it one. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time, but more slowly. So let me delete the data that was here earlier. Let's do this one more time. So equals to count if, highlight the data range. I want to count if it is fetu, right? And this number I wanted to divide by the number that is over here of count. I press enter, and you can see that it's already put down in the percentage format. And if it is not in the percentage format, I'll just click up here to make it a percentage, right? So that is summarizing this data. And then for this data, how do we summarize this? So there are different ways that you can do the summary. One way to do the summary is to use the formula equals to sum, and you sum all of this, divide by the total number over here. And it should give me the correct number, right? It gives me the correct number, 55.666, which is the same as the correct number I want over here. But there's an easier way. You can I'm going to delete this. An easier way is to use equals to average. So this is the new function. And you can see that again, there are many different average functions, but I'm just going to use the first one over here, average. I'm just going to use open parenthesis, highlight the data, close my parentheses, press enter, and you can see that that's the correct number. Okay, one more time, let me do this a little bit more quickly. Equals to average. There we go. Okay, so now we've used these 3 functions. Ita aprende theona kono ba function tolune hodi bele hado data summary ba column idane no column idane no column idane no agora how say demonstra dala idatan iha tab verde tab azul no dalaruma iha tab oin. Okay, so let's do this one more time, a little bit more quickly in the tab verde, in the tab azul, and the others. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you have already downloaded the file, like I've showed you how to do earlier, now is the time for you to practice. Now, I would like you to try doing the same calculation by yourself. Find the summary of the data in this tab for this data set, in this tab for this data set, And then you can compare your answers to mine. You can see whether you're getting a correct answer or you're getting a wrong answer, or maybe you're getting an error. It is not giving you an answer, it is giving you some strange or different number or symbol. Okay, now let's do for Verdi. So the way I'm going to summarize is this is going to be a count, this is going to be a percentajan feito, and this is going to be an idade average. And so for count, I'm going to use count A, all of these, close. For percentajan feito, I'm going to use countif, all of these. If it is a feito, divided by this number, and I'm going to convert this to a percentage, and idade average over here, I'm going to equal to average, this one, close. All right, that's it. I finished for this one. I'm going to do this one more time for this tab called Azul. So I'm going to copy just these titles. I've pressed Control C to copy. I'm going to go to Tab Azul. I'm just going to, maybe I'll put it here. I'm going to paste. I'm going to use my keyboard Control V. So I put down the headers, the titles. So I'm going to do one more time. Equals to counta, highlight the data, close count if, highlight the data, feito, divided by this number, and I'm going to do equals to average, this numbers, close. Okay, there you go. So this has been summarized automatically. So I'm not going to do this for Abu Abu and Jinga for now. I've already showed you for these three tabs. So I'd like you to see if you can do that by yourself. Okay, so let me close this calculator and let's go to the rezumu. So iha contexto baraka situação barak nebe precisa ita halo data summary. Por exemplo, ita karak compara dadus fatin idane no fatin ida seluk. Sila ita hakarak compara dadus ia fatin hanesan date iha tempo idane ho tempo ida seluk. Tinan idane ho tinan ida seluk. Dalaruma ita precisa halo data summary idane resumo dadus idane atubele halo relatorio ba itania doador halo relatorio ba Ministerio de Saúde. So iha contexto barak situação barak nabi precisa halo data summary. No halo data summary idane fácil use ita usa Excel. No ohin how demonstraciona ba ito será oinsa usa Excel for halo data summary. No liu ema tenki hatene oinsa usa formula idane function count A, count if, average. Ita tenki praktika barak tanba labele hare date ema seluk halo. Ita tenki halo rasik hodita bele aprende klean aprende diak no bele halo lalais ita rasik la precisa ajuda ema to halo by tobor. No, Billy Aprende Liutan, you can learn more about this, and I'm going to point you to some resources for this. So here's one link that will bring you to a basic description of how to do data analysis in Excel. It is in English language, but it is about, I think, 1 hour. And you can also learn just Excel basics from this link. Now, I'm going to show you also briefly right now how to go to that link and use Bahasa subtitles or Portuguese subtitles if that makes it easier for you to listen and learn. So let me demonstrate that briefly. I'm going to click on this. So it brings me to this website. Within YouTube, you can see that here is, here is a YouTube video on how to use data analysis with Excel. And it is done by this man who is speaking in English. So I'm going to press play. Now, let's say that imagine talk ita ladun comprende English irani selai in a accent difficile hori ita bele aprende. Nune facile liu se iha subtitulu kan. Nune ita bele ativa subtitulu liu husi click button irani. Subtitles or closed captions. How say click ihani? Depois ita bele hare ha craik ne subtitulu. Nune agora bainhira how press play. Ema irene say continua qualia hela. Maybe hamutu ku subtitles ihani.
I'm going to select this date because I want the year of hire. So I'm going to select the date of hire. I'm going to press enter.
Depois say irene diak, maybe diak liu say iha subtitulu iha lingua bahasa karik. Nune ita bele troca lingua subtitulu liu husi ita click iha settings ihani. Subtitles irene English auto generated. Ita bele click dala idatan. Click auto translate ihani. No hili lingua nebe ita hakarak. Por ejemplo, ita gosta Indonesian. Depois ita play fali.
Now, once again, we don't want to keep, putting year. So I'm just going to click and do a double.
So now you can see that while he is talking in English, irene traduz diretamente ba bahasa Indonesia. Now, I must give you a warning. How precisa for amaran uituan. Tanpa tradusan irene Laos ema nebe halo tradusan, maybe computador nebe halo tradusan irene automatiku. Dalaruma irene la halo tradus lus. Nia tradus kili liafuan nebe sala karik. So just be careful. Sometimes the words are not accurate. Tradusan ladun accurate. Maybe dalabarak mayoria accurate hela. So you can use this to learn. So I'm going to press play again. Okay, so actually first I'm going to turn off the subtitles. Let's do this one more time. I'm going to press play so that we can see him teach.
Double click for my autofill. There we go. Perfect.
I'm going to pause. I'm going to turn on subtitles. And I'm going to press play again.
Last but not least, my boss has asked me to pull data from this original data for the.
Now I'm going to translate the language of the subtitles to a different language. So I'm going to click here, subtitles, English auto-generated to Indonesian, click. Oh, sorry, one more time. I'll click up here to auto-translate, and I'm going to use a different language. Let's say you prefer Portuguese. So I'm going to find Portuguese, click. And now let's play again.
Now, to do this, I'm just going to simply use, you would think, the month, right?
So you can see now that it is playing. He's speaking in English, but you can see the translation down here in Portuguese. Now, let's say the translation, the subtitles are good, but you want him to speak more slowly because he's just speaking very fast. You can again click over here. You can click playback speed over here. And you can see the playback speed is now normal. So you click over here and you can change to very slow or very fast. So now I'm first going to demonstrate. I'm going to make him speak very fast. So I'm going to click on 2. Let's press play again over here.
The problem now is this. My boss tells me that we did really great,
So I'm going to press pause. I'm going to press pause. It is too fast. I cannot understand. So I'm going to click here, click on playback speed, make him very slow, 0.25. One more time, I click outside, I press play. Okay, this is far too slow. So let me try one more time. I'm going to click on this button over here. Oh, what's happening? Oh, I think okay, great. Now it was frozen briefly, but now it is back. So I'm going to click one more time on the gear. Sorry, let me pause. Click on gear. Click on the playback speed, and I'm going to change to not normal, but just a little bit slow, 0.75. Click, press play.
I actually want the full name. I want this to say December. I want this to say July.
Okay, good. Now it is slow. I can understand him better, but I want the subtitles. So I'm going to click the subtitles. And I want the subtitles in Bahasa. Oops, let me change the subtitle language to Indonesian. Indonesian. Okay, so let's press play.
To say July. I want this to say June. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, I know the month function won't work.
Okay, that's it. So let me close this and go back to my slides. So practice this, and then you can also watch this other video for basics. And for those of you who are a little bit more advanced, let me give you some challenges. So let me look back at this data set. So you can summarize all of this, these different tabs, if you're able to. And then the challenge is you look at this tab that says desafio primeiro, no, desafio segundo. So desafio primeiro, desafio makalo data summary ba dataset irene ne binaro kliuthan. Nomos iha kor ihane no kor ihane no kor ihane Laos date naran pasenti sexu idade maybe kor ka facilidade Saudi mos ihane. And so there's a few makalo data summary by data set idane. O in some kita bele uza data set idane. Atu halo sumario idadi nebe average Laos date ba idadi average ba idane hotu. Maybe ita bele kriya idadi average ba methan date. Selai idadi average ba verde date. Idadi average ba azul date. So that is your challenge. Try and do that. And similarly, I'm going to go to desafio kadua. And here there's another data set, which is not as pretty. It doesn't look like as nice as these other data sets. But in this data set, halo data summary by data set idane. Nomos buka tuir saidamak average ba doutora, saidamak average idadi ba enfermero, enfermera. So itabele koko idane. Okay, diak makne date husi how say cancel say minimiza idane. Makne date husi how obrigado barak ba itubot sila niya atenção. Até amanhã. Bye bye.